So you're saying that like they already have power. So this is This is Iran's premier military force, premier intelligence force. The premier economic power, owning like what 30, 60, whatever percent of the economy. And now they're going to pretty much dictate the election and who becomes president, right? But aren't they also going to? Aren't they sort of taking over the whole concept of the supreme leader as well? I mean, how are they, if they're going to select the next supreme leader, essentially, and even when they do, that next supreme leader is not going to be a supreme leader. The IRGC is going to be the supreme leader, and the new supreme leader is going to be beholden to them.
Well, one step at a time, right? Right now, they're going for presidency, right? If Mujtaba Khamenei, this is why Mujtaba Khamenei is so close to the IRGC, right? And if Mujtaba Khamenei becomes the supreme leader, the takeover of IRGC will become complete. So here's the thing. A lot of people say that the IRGC is very loyal to Khamenei, right? Religiously loyal to Khamenei. But some people say like maybe that's like that kind of is a show. It might be the other way around, right? Like because at the end of the day, the people who have the guns, they are the real leaders, right? Like maybe Khamenei is there, yeah. So, but with Mujtaba, the blurry line between who's in charge might actually become less blurry, because Mujtaba himself is extremely connected to the IRGC. He's one of them. He's part of them. He was part, So, so right now they're going for the presidency, and eventually they might go for the supreme leader. And just like, here's actually a clue for why this might actually be true, right? Like I said, Mujtaba Khamenei, which is Ali Khamenei's son, he picked Ahmadinejad to be president, right? Allegedly. There's WikiLeaks and stuff like of this, by the way, out there, right? So I'm not just pulling this out of nowhere. However, he is the one right now who seems to be, again, allegedly, wanting to pick the next president, who is Saeed Mohammed, right? Saeed Mohammed has, so many people said that this is the guy. This is the guy that they're going to push. And it's very interesting because Ali Khamenei came out and gave speeches about who he wants to be as the next president. And if he didn't mention any names, he doesn't. But if you just narrow down everything that he wants, it just comes down to nobody other than Saeed Mohammed. Okay. So,
no, I'm saying that. Okay, I get that, but I'm saying that. Sure, Mujtaba Khamenei is really into the IRGC. Sorry, you froze for a second. You got to let me know if I get choppy for you.
Just keep talking. Just talk.
Okay. So Mujtaba Khamenei is a big fan. Like he's like this with the. I'm crossing my fingers here. Like they're intertwined with the IRGC, totally aligned. But what's going to happen is once they take different roles, and this happens a lot, Armin, and this is like even people totally aligned. They put their person in there. At some point, they will have some sort of disagreement, like Bush and Cheney, right? When they do have a disagreement, and I'm just saying, okay, theoretically or practically, right? You have the supreme leader, and then you have the IRGC that have a disagreement. Isn't the IRGC going to pretty much trump whatever the supreme leader says? Like, if they have this much power, right? If they are the ones who selected the president, if they're the ones who are essentially selecting the supreme leader too, right? The supreme leader is no longer really the supreme leader. Like the IRGC is king. And again, the IRGC has the guns. If it comes down to a showdown between the two, how does the IRGC not win the showdown? How does it not win the showdown?
Well, what you're saying, again, a lot of this is happening behind the curtain. So this is basically what we're saying here is based on suggestions of few information that keeps leaking out, right? Okay. What you're saying is a lot of analysts and experts, what they're suggesting is not something that is about to happen. Some people say that's how it is right now.
It's inevitable. Well, I mean, it is.
No, it's not. It's not inevitable. It's already like that. Like people say, it is IRGC right now is in control of everything. It's already like that.
Right.
Everything else is a show. Again, so, and different people, different analysts agree with this to different degrees, right? Like nobody completely denies that. Some people might be exaggerating how much that is, but to some levels, some people like, yeah, it's a little bit like that. Some people are like, no, it's a lot like that, right?
Yeah.
Right? So, but what you're suggesting is something that people are like, no, what are you talking about, Ali? Some people might come and say, you're saying it's going to become like that. They're going to be the kingmakers. They're going to be controlled. Like, that's how it is right now. Everything else is a show right now. Okay, I'm not saying how much I buy into, how much we
But
control
it'll
it.
be open, Armin.
Oh
Like,
yes, yeah. Well, I
it'll be
mean,
open, right? Like it already is. I think the main thing here right now is what we're talking about is that the mask is coming off. They don't care about these superficial shows of we're democracy and a republic and we're going to have this election. They're basically openly going about doing it. I mean, everybody's talking about it. The Assembly of Experts is not going to elect the next supreme leader. That the
well,
RGC openly has
they're gonna pretend like they are.
right, but it's still it's going to be more of a formality than it ever was before. Like
Yeah. So see, here's the thing. Here's what
so,
it gives me.
just one more thing, and I again, like I don't know, I'm not as in tune with the whole Iranian situation as you are, so this is like a novice asking questions because I'm just really fascinated by this. But for instance, right, when you had domestic issues, usually they you had the Basiji militia, right, the Basij that would go around and deal with all the domestic uprisings and issues, and then recent protests, the IRGC got involved. That's something that they didn't used to do before. So it became open.
So no, Ali, the Basij is part of IRGC.
It is, I know, but it was like it's still a different entity.
You
right?
mean that? No, it's not. The Basij is the IRGC. It's part of the IRGC. So what happened recently that was different is the Artesh got involved. The Artesh used to keep his
The
hands
military.
clean.
Okay. Yeah.
The Artesh used to keep his hands clean from oppressing people. And recently not only they came in and said that they are involved in oppressing people, protesters, and they pulled an Ali Dava. They said they're proud of it. They're also yeah. They say yes, we oppress people. Like we're in line with the IRGC in shutting people down when they protest, and we are proud of it. So they did. They openly said that recently. So basically, the Artesh is like, basically Artesh was trying to signal to the people, if the people who are against the regime are hoping a divide between the Artesh and the IRGC, if you're hoping a coup, an anti. Like if you're hoping that the Artesh is more in line with the people against the hardliners, and at some point you're going to find some generals in the Artesh that is going to not be in line with the supreme leader, like, keep dreaming, we are in line with them, and screw the people, I guess. Right.
Hey guys, if you want to join these streams live, get your comments and questions read by Ali and Armin and the guests, and most importantly, to get full access to the full video versions of all these episodes, become a patron. Link in the description below.